We are back with this brand new episode all about food. And you might say that this podcast is a lot like food, but for your ears. It nourishes and replenishes you. It's savory and sweet. If you take too much, you might start to feel a little sick. That being said, this episode would not be considered nutritious for your young ones, so plop them in front of the TV in another room with a bucket of ice cream to distract them, and let's get started with Pitch Guys. We are going to talk about one of my favorite things. I think you guys also appreciate and enjoy food.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
This is up my alley.
It's none of us, admittedly, none of us are professional cooks. That's for sure.
True.
Or competent.
I didn't really start cooking till I was 20, and most of that was like chicken fingers in the oven for 20 minutes. But I do cook a little bit. And how about you guys?
I enjoy the act of cooking. I like making stuff. I like, we do like some preserving of foods in our family and just stuff like that. And there was a while before I had kids where I really liked making ridiculous things. I'd spend like 6 hours like prepping a dish kind of thing.
Jeez.
Wow.
But not so much anymore. It's like, what's in the freezer? Let's go.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Good for you.
I mean, back in the university days, I learned how to cook a lot of unhealthy things.
Oh, yeah.
I had a girlfriend who taught me that you could bread a hamburger in flour and then fry that in oil.
and
I
skip the bun or put that on a bun.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was
that like a homemade hot
I didn't
pocket?
realize that was unhealthy. Oh, wow. Well, it must be nutritious. I mean, like...
It's got bread on it, whole wheat.
I'll tell you what, it tasted great.
Oh, I imagine,
No.
yeah.
And then you could actually inject Cheese Whiz right into it. And man, oh man.
It's a Hot Pocket.
If you did it at the right... Yeah, basically a Hot Pocket.
Yeah.
I don't know if Hot Pockets existed that long ago. That was like 20 years ago.
Oh,
but
probably. I think they
did.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that takes us right into our first topic.
Yep.
So, new ideas for processed food product. You know, there's a lot of quick and ready, easy things that you can just grab from the grocery store that
That's
with
true.
very minimal effort you can prepare a meal. Like the big one would be the macaroni and cheese, of course. There's a lot of powdered cheese.
Craft dinner, as it's known north here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is pretty darn good when you consider that it's like, I'm guessing 89 cents a box or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's still a pretty good meal.
I disagree.
You don't like it?
I've never been able to make it so that it tastes great to me.
Oh.
Like everyone seems to rave about it, but when I make it, it's like kind of milky and
Too much milk.
slimy. And,
Skip the milk.
Well, I've tried to follow
Just
the
use the butter.
instructions.
You gotta
don't use milk?
customize that a little bit. No, I don't use milk.
You don't use milk at all.
No, just the butter.
Well, then
Little
why
extra
are the
butter.
KD people lying to me?
I don't know. You just got to make it. You know, when I lived in Florida, that was like a thing. There's no craft dinner in Florida.
Yeah.
Right.
And
States,
so it was like people would come to visit, and other Canadians that were living with us, they'd be like, bring a case of craft dinner. So like my parents would show up to visit, and they'd come with like 50 boxes of craft dinner. I
And
could
a
give to
2-for
my
a
friends.
Are
pill.
and
you telling
be
me that
famous.
the Americans don't have a macaroni and cheese?
They have a mac and
box?
cheese, but it wasn't like it
It's
wasn't
not-
the
not as
craft
good
dinner.
as craft
yeah,
dinner.
it wasn't. And
Which isn't
whether
even
that's
that
like
great when I make it.
nostalgic homesickness for Canada or whether
Well-
that was like a legit thing, but they did not.
That's funny because when I was living in Korea, my mother used to send me a care package every once in a while.
Yeah.
And one of the things she would send me would be like a box of Mr. Noodles. And I'll tell you, like...
She must have loved you a lot.
Ichiban and Mr. Noodles don't compare to the dried noodles that you can buy in Korea.
Probably,
you buy
yeah.
what ramen
Yeah.
is what it's called, and it's so much better
Yeah.
than anything that you could
Did you
get
say
from
Ichiban?
Ichiban. Yeah.
I've been saying Ichiban my whole life.
Well, you're wrong. It's Ichiban.
You sure?
Man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I trust Alan. He lived in Korea for a while.
I mean, that's
Oh,
Japanese.
that's a
Sapporo
cop-out.
Ichiban, and that
Yeah.
stuff is just like salt with noodles.
All
but
right. Well, I'm gonna try and start saying it right, but
it's
I can't
good
promise.
though. When you're a student, I know I relied
Yeah.
on a lot of Ichiban
Yeah.
when I was in university.
It sounds weird to me.
I haven't had it for years.
I lived with a student, exchange student, and he would always talk about how he was going to have like sausages and pasta, and he would like have macaroni and like no name wieners, and I'd be like, these aren't sausages. And he was from Germany, and he'd be like, no, these are sausages. I'm like, I don't know how to tell you this, man. These are not like primo German sausages. These are like miscellaneous parts ground up into a hot dog. But
Yeah, exactly.
What
You know what is a good processed
What?
food? Have you guys tried the little bags of scalloped potatoes or the
What?
mashed potatoes? They're so simple.
Oh,
It's
those
just
microwave potatoes?
You just basically you add water, you stir this around, boiled water, you stir it around for like 5 seconds.
I feel like I'm
You've
in the
got mashed
Jetsons when I eat that.
potatoes.
Yeah. That's like space food.
I love it.
That's amazing.
I think it's
I've
great.
not
I think it's
tried it.
better than my mashed potatoes.
wow.
It's definitely better
I'll
than
tell you
mine.
what, when we're finished the podcast, we're going upstairs. We're going to actually mix up a massive pot of these.
Okay.
I want us each to have our own pouch of them, and I want us to eat them but not look at each other.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well,
I'd
sorry.
like to see... Actually, back to Mr. Noodles, that reminds me, when I was in elementary school, like our parents would make us these like thoughtful, delicious lunches, but we were all super jealous of that one kid who, had just a packet of raw Mr. Noodles.
yeah.
oh, yeah.
And you took the seasoning and just dumped them on there, ate them like a dry snack.
yeah.
That was a thing.
Oh,
They
I'll
got boycotted from my elementary school.
Really?
Did
Because
they?
they got mashed into the carpet too much, and it was like,
Oh.
no more grade 8. You're not allowed raw noodles.
And the same kid for dessert, he'd just bring a pouch of like juice mix, like juice powder, and you
Yeah.
would just suck his finger and stick it in. That was his dessert.
Like a lick and dip or whatever.
lick and
it
dip.
is.
It sounds like I mean I'm a few years older than you, but
Get out.
that your parents really weren't supplying you with very healthy.
No. They were giving us boring food.
Yeah,
we were
we-
jealous of this kid.
You were jealous of
You
this,
wanted
yeah.
those quick
You
foods. as
traded your
opposed to,
snack
like,
pack.
Okay, well, parents of your generation when you
Yeah.
were kids
Yeah.
were generally just saying, "Screw it,
Yeah.
I'm giving my kid a package of Mr. Noodles." That's pretty poor.
We asked for Mr. Noodles. It was
Yeah.
like, I want to be cool kid showing up Mr. Noodles. And not like, I want this like beautiful sandwich that you've prepared for me in a soup in a thermos.
Oh,
And for the
my
lazy
goodness.
parents, like to their defense, it was the time when the internet was just kind of
Yeah.
coming into its own. So they were busy surfing the web. They couldn't make a bunch of lunches.
Come into its
True.
own.
What
My
about
elementary
those
school.
lunches where they had the they were ready made? You had crackers,
Snack packs.
sausage,
No. What are they
little
called?
bits of cheese.
Yeah.
No, what the hell are the name of those things? They were delightful.
I don't know, but that can't be healthy.
My
Cheese
four,
sticks.
yeah, my 4-year-old knows that those you can't get those because they aren't real
Lunchables.
food.
Yeah, Lunchables.
Yeah, Lunchables. He always wants Lunchables,
Yeah.
and I tell him that's
Mhm.
not real food. man.
Really? I felt like I was preparing food for that's probably the most food prep I've ever done in my life,
Mhm.
is putting those Lunchables together. I'm assembling my lunch. I felt good about myself.
Well, one idea I had just the other day, I
For
was
processed
I was
food?
eating some cheese
Yeah.
and I was having some crackers, and the combination was delightful.
Oh, I got to
But it's
try
a lot
this.
of it's a lot of work because you got to cut the cheese and then you got to put it on the cracker, and that takes time. What if you had a cheese where you just had little bits of cracker that were just baked in, because it's all about the
Oh.
texture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You just
the
you cut your
crunch.
cheese, you cut the cheese,
You cut the cheese.
Yeah.
and then your crackers are in it.
Yeah.
Already.
Oh.
Why do you have to screw around with that? I don't need this.
Yeah.
It seems like it's easy. Cheese is meltable. You should
Yeah.
be able to get the crackers in there, no issue.
Yeah.
I got an idea that kind of was similar
Cheese
to that.
cracker bar.
Like, you can get that, like, I don't know, I think it's like bologna with cheese mixed into it that
Oh,
you
yeah.
can get. Like, what other things could you mix in with meats? So, like, cheese and crackers, maybe you can mix those together. Like,
Oh, I like
are there
this.
other things that you can mix together so you already have a sandwich? I went to a bakery once where they
Yeah.
baked the bread, and when they baked the bread, there was ham and cheese in it.
Yeah.
So you just had to cut a slice off the loaf.
You
and
don't need to
and
mix
you had
that.
ham and cheese.
There's
and you
no
just eat a
middleman.
slice. It was
No,
done.
you're done. You
Yeah.
don't have time for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
I would like to see smoked oysters and crackers just fused right together.
Do you like smoked?
Smoked?
Do you like smoked oysters?
Don't
Joe, eat
do
them
one of
on
your
your dick.
impressions. Don't do it. Don't do an accent. I
That
love
was Scottish.
that was Scottish. Jesus.
The Ukrainian accent.
I do. I really like smoked oysters, and nobody else does.
Ah.
And I love olives.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I will eat a jar of olives as a snack, and
Wow.
I'll eat just a whole can of smoked oysters to myself. And it's a good snack choice because no one else wants any.
So would you eat like oysters stuffed with olives stuffed with smoked oysters?
I definitely would.
Hmm.
And
I feel like it would be very sodium rich.
that's what I want.
Yeah.
And the whole thing dipped in feta cheese or something.
Oh, salt is a
That'd be
great
alright.
thing. Really.
For processed foods, I think
Yeah.
what's really missing from my life is more spreadable cheese. I mean, more spreadable meat.
Yeah.
Not cheese,
Spreadable
meat.
meat.
I want to see more meats that are just easily accessible.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to waste time cooking.
Yeah.
I don't even want to microwave it. I just
Yeah.
want to go into my fridge and be able to spread some, red meat out
Yeah.
on something, on a cracker.
Yeah.
I could probably make some for you. When I made, my wife was making baby food, we'd cook like a dozen chicken breasts
Okay.
at a time, and we'd just
Liquefy?
grind them all
Oh,
up
that sounds
and
absolutely
then
disgusting.
freeze them into ice cube trays.
Mm.
And then you'd just pop it up
Oh.
and mix it into like baby food with something else. So, you could have a
Kids
spreadable.
like that.
I like that
Oh,
idea.
it was like hidden into something.
Yeah.
You'd make like,
You
Other food.
subject babies to a lot of weird crap.
this is true.
And I'm not sure that if they had a choice, they would really want to eat that. Oh yeah, no, we ground chicken breast and
Well,
strawberry.
hold on there, Al.
Yeah.
What Derek's describing is pretty innovative. It sounds exactly like a product that I think that I can say that I really enjoy, which is Schuster's pork chunks.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yes,
And I
it's
think
true.
we've talked about that before. So he's not far off
Well,
the
they're
mark
wonderful.
here. Yeah,
They don't
Oh my
expire.
god,
No.
that's a ready
So-
source of protein.
It is.
Yeah.
It's great.
Schuster's.
Yeah.
I would like to see meat popsicles if you're freezing them in ice cube trays.
Okay.
Anyways,
Why not a
Okay.
sausage?
Yeah, have a
Sure,
teriyaki
really good.
pop,
Mm.
right?
idea.
A Szechuan sucker.
You know, I've always had this thought. I have a food. I think that you could be like a Lunchable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody loves bacon. People
Okay.
love to put it down.
Yeah,
People
go on-
love
on it.
bacon.
Yeah.
If bacon was entirely dipped in chocolate,
Oh
Okay.
my god.
as disgusting as that sounds,
No
I
way.
guarantee you that would be a great thing.
I think so.
It would be, wouldn't
Like
it?
like fried, like it's cooked.
It's cooked.
It's dipped in chocolate.
It's like dipped in that chocolate that hardens, you
Yeah.
know, the
Cone
moment
dip.
it comes out.
right.
Cone dip.
Right? So it's just this,
Sweet and salty.
Would
yeah.
it still be shaped like bacon strips?
oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
like bacon. You
Hmm.
have that in a kid's lunch, you've got something.
chocolate dipped
What
bacon?
about like gourmet dark chocolate bacon bars where they just have bacon inside the nice sculpted dark chocolate bar?
Again, we've got two hits here.
Okay.
So
I've been
I
to a
don't
place
know.
where they have like what do they call it? Canadian maple donuts, kind of,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
with bacon on top,
Oh.
and that like caramel or toffee or whatever and bacon is pretty
Yeah.
amazing.
I went to a Denny's once and they had what was called bacon extravaganza or bacon fest going on at the time.
Okay.
This was years ago. But one of the options on the menu at the time was a maple bacon sundae.
Wow.
It was an ice cream sundae
With
with
bacon.
maple syrup and bacon on it.
Mm.
And I ordered it because you have to,
Yeah.
and it was delightful.
Wow.
It was
Have-
an instant hit.
Have the Beyond Meat people solved bacon yet?
I don't know.
They got there?
It's
I don't
probably
think you
the
can.
ultimate Rubik's cube for them. Rubik's cube. Yeah.
Bacon is one of those foods that honestly you can't screw it up.
No.
You could put cinnamon on it. It's
Yeah.
probably going to be okay.
Yeah.
Chocolate,
Yeah.
caramel.
Yeah, they've had that like turkey bacon and chicken bacon, which is kind of a
It's
substitute.
not bad.
It's
Turkey
not bad,
bacon's
but
pretty
it's
good.
not,
It's not
the
as
same.
good.
It's not as
No.
versatile, I don't think. I
No.
don't think you can put turkey bacon with chocolate and it would be okay.
No,
But I
it
do
wouldn't.
believe that you could probably put regular bacon with
Yeah,
chocolate.
yeah. Well, I mean, you could put it with anything. Strawberries, it would be fine.
What's
This
your
is
favorite
a
thing?
podcast episode that's going to make me hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. If you have a favorite thing you like to mix bacon with, tweet us out at Pitch
Yeah.
Guys. Let
Yeah,
us know.
at Pitch Guys.
What's your favorite
Tweet
thing?
us
Yeah.
your bacon ideas and tweet us your bacon needs.
Yeah.
Mm. Have you guys heard of the product called Baconaise?
No.
Which is like a bacon style mayonnaise.
Okay.
Apparently,
God.
I haven't tried it. Sounds like it's
It's
supposed
just
to be. Well, it
egg
sounds
yolks
good.
and bacon grease mixed
Yeah.
together.
I would love this if
Those
they
two
could
things.
separate the bacon from the mayonnaise so I didn't have to eat the mayonnaise
Mm.
because I hate mayonnaise.
Oh well,
Yeah.
that wouldn't be the
This should be
product for
called
you.
bacon.
No.
then.
Do you guys ever do the thing where you cook a bunch of bacon and then when you're done cooking the bacon, you cook the eggs in the same frying pan?
I have done that.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
great. It's the best.
Really?
People will just go nuts about that.
Sounds
stuff.
weird to me.
Or
No.
like, or like you save a bit, you do your hash browns and some of the bacon grease, and it's
Mhm.
just like everything tastes bacony.
Mm-hmm.
It's a health food, I think.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, my wife is a vegetarian, and she has no idea that I do that, and she loves it.
Hopefully, she never finds out.
Yeah.
I've met some vegetarians who bacon is their exception. They won't eat meat. They
Oh,
won't eat
really?
fish, but they'll eat bacon.
That's quite the exception to make.
Yeah.
You know?
This seems like actually the biggest topic we could tackle right now is right now we're seeing a shift in food diets. Like there's so many like, non-meat dishes and options and gluten-free and vegetarian and vegan and all these weird like cruelty-free things. And like I don't even know what to serve people now.
Everybody's got their intolerance or one thing that they can't.
I'm scared
eat.
of killing guests.
Right.
Well, now you guys know. I mean, this is actually a pet peeve for me. I have a fatal allergy to peanuts.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I ingest a peanut, it will kill me.
Yeah.
And if I even am around peanuts, if I can smell it, it's very harmful.
Yeah.
My eyes gloss over and all sorts of issues.
Do you swell up?
What's that?
Do you swell up?
I swell up. I look like an orc from Lord of the Rings.
Oh my God.
Even if I haven't eaten it.
Yeah.
But there are people who they might have a slight intolerance to a food.
Yeah.
And they will say they are so allergic to it.
Yeah.
And it's ruining it for all of us who are actually have fatal allergies to these things.
Because people aren't taking you seriously.
No, they don't take it seriously. They don't understand how serious it is.
So restaurants aren't taking the proper precautions and could kill you.
It's not so much restaurants. It's the fact that I think that people, when they hear that you're allergic to something, don't realize how serious it is.
Well, there are a lot of hypochondriacs out there and people whose food intolerance may be more maybe in their minds. But that doesn't make it any less real for them, I guess.
That's true.
But yours is a pretty nutty allergy.
That's true. Yeah.
The puns are free.
Did you always have this allergy?
I found out when I was about 3 years old.
Yeah.
And my mother thought I was a very fussy little child.
Yeah.
She forced me to eat a peanut butter cookie, and I ended up in the hospital.
Huh.
So
was that like was that an anxiety of yours as a kid? Were you like nervous about that? Did you identify with this allergy?
Well, not only, but I was a very picky eater.
Yeah.
And I think that the pickiness came from fear.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was always afraid that food could kill me.
Mm-hmm.
So I stuck to a very limited diet when I was younger, definitely.
I've met kids who have a strong peanut allergy, and it almost like defines them. They're like you'll meet them for the first time, and they'll be like, "Hi, I'm Sally. I have a peanut allergy. Do you know that? I have 2 EpiPens. Here's where they are."
Yeah.
And that's the very first thing that
if we're going to associate, you need to know about my peanut allergy right out of the gate.
Well, I mean, it's a serious risk. I've had several incidents in my life that have been quite serious. And I mean, my son got that allergy from me as well. Mm-hmm. And he has been through anaphylaxis. He's actually been into emergency and had epinephrine injected into him. So it's a serious and real thing. Mm-hmm. And I think that the problem is there's a lot of people who they don't like food sometimes, or they say, "Oh, I have a gluten insensitive, I have a gluten intolerance because it makes me a little farty or something." And they are actually ruining it for people who are deathly allergic to something.
Well, I've noticed a lot of restaurants now, when you say like, "Please don't put this in my food," they ask you if it's a preference or if it's an allergy. And like, are they gauging how serious they're going to take your request?
I think they are. And also I think that people are telling them that it's an allergy when it really isn't.
Yeah.
For example, lactose intolerance is not an allergy.
Get out.
Mm-hmm. It's an intolerance.
Yeah.
And it's a horrible thing for people that are intolerant to lactose, but it's not going to kill them.
Right.
It's going to give them the poops.
Might kill people around them.
Right.
I don't know what gluten is. Like, in this day and age.
Does anyone?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I think half the people out there who say gluten don't know what the hell it really is.
Well, there are celiacs, right? And celiacs.
That's a rough thing.
That is a bad thing because gluten can actually kill them.
Yeah.
But there are also people that think they shouldn't be eating gluten that say they're celiac.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're ruining it for the celiacs.
And I don't know what gluten is, but I know it's in a lot of things.
Gluten's like a protein in bread. It seems like lactose is a protein in milk. Like lots of the allergies or the intolerances are around those proteins that for some reason we can't digest.
Have you ever tried non-bread bread?
Like gluten-free bread?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to eat for me.
So my wife and I were dabbling in gluten-free bread for a while. We're trying this out. We wanted to get rid of gluten. But gluten-free bread is so expensive, so I was determined to make my own. And we went through probably like 8 different kinds that I baked my own bread. It was a thing for a bit where I was going for, but it took a long time before we actually found one that was even edible. Most of them just tasted terrible.
Trying to make your own gluten-free bread?
Yeah, I didn't want to pay for it, so
Did you make it out of bacon?
No, but if I put a bacon in, that might have been amazing.
Yeah. You and I are on very different ends of the spectrum of cooking.
I have a cookbook that's only breads.
Jesus.
But I don't bake from it anymore now, but one day maybe.
Well, how did it turn out, your homemade gluten-free bread?
I found one kind of flour that was like a kinnikinnick flour. It was the best.
Well, there you go. I don't know if it's for me. I don't even know if I'm being affected in a bad way by gluten. I don't even really know what gluten is.
Well, I think you had a point in that I think most people don't know what gluten is, but nowadays a lot of people think it's bad for them.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of fear marketing around gluten and also steroids in things that would never have steroids in them anyways. You know, this is steroid free. Like, well, yeah, we never put steroids in cauliflower.
Well, and then there's the big fear about beef. I know that there's restaurants that are advertising that their beef is steroid free. Yeah. But actually, the beef industry has put out some very convincing information about how there's a lot of different product that have more steroids in them than beef, like eggs and vegetables and. Well, actually, I have no idea if that's true or not. You'll probably tweet me.
Got these whited out eggs.
Fake news.
No, but there's many, many things that have more steroids in them than beef.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of beef, vegetarian movements or vegan movements are kind of interesting to me. And one thing that's really, like a staple of the beef world is jerky, right? Beef jerky, like most expensive. I think it's more expensive than gold per pound.
It's pretty ridiculous. And if you try to buy it in a gas station, forget it.
Yeah, you're paying ridiculous. But the other day, a friend of mine brought some meatless jerky. And I was like, this is, I don't believe you. This is going to be garbage. It was soy-based.
Okay, yeah.
It's called like Noble Jerky. And I was like, this
is stupid.
This is ridiculous. And I tried a bite of it and it was amazing. Like I would not believe that it was not regular beef jerky. It was amazing.
Okay, well, jerky's based around salt.
Yeah.
Largely salt.
This is like teriyaki. It was lots of flavoring in it.
Did it have the same texture?
It tasted amazing.
Did it have like the little fibers that kind of pull free when you rip it apart?
I'm going to bring some and you can try it out.
You should have brought it tonight.
I should have, but
I feel like
amazing.
beef jerky should only be bought in a gas station, though.
Yeah.
Well, you can buy this stuff at Winners, so you know that's...
It should only be eaten when you're on the road. You're in
it's a last resort.
Just gnawing
fresh produce and beef jerky only from gas stations.
It's much like pemmican in that way, right?
Yeah, well, it's there. Grind it up a little bit. It's pretty much the same thing.
Love jerky.
You're a pemmican. Have you tried? I heard you're trying to make pemmican.
Yeah,
what is pemmican?
The other day. It would be like smoked meat. That's ground up into like a powder, dried berries that are also ground up, and then some kind of fat to hold it together. Like the voyageurs, as they travel across Canada, that's like they ate this stuff.
So this is like the original processed food.
Yeah, it would be like there was like areas where like Métis people would make it, and they would like where the beaver pelt trade would go would be really strong, but they would like process like a whole buffalo into like pemmican and send it up to these canoe travelers to eat
because it would keep for a long time.
It's got a long time. You could eat it raw, just cook it, just cut it off. You could throw it in some boiling water and make like meat and berry soup. I don't know what that would taste like, but you could eat it.
Like this should become more of a thing nowadays.
Pemmican.
Yeah. So have you made it then?
I made some. I took some to work.
Yeah.
And I had it in a bowl and I put it in the fridge, and someone thought that it was bad and threw it out. And I was kind of annoyed with them because it was a lot of work to make it.
Right.
But it is pretty good.
So how long does it take though?
Well, I mean, depends. If you're gonna like harvest a moose, dry the meat, crush the meat, harvest the berries, crush the like it would be time consuming.
Well, it's interesting how indigenous people even discovered they could do this. It seems like a lot of discovery here.
Yeah, let's mash stuff up, like dry the stuff out, mix it together, and mix it with some fat and let it go. I don't know.
You know what I love about this?
It's supposed to be super indefinite staying.
I love about this podcast of ours is that we've talked about Star Wars, and we've talked about like, what the Hobbs and Shaw, and we've talked about like the dumbest nerd stuff on earth, and then we use the phrase "harvest a moose." Yeah. In the next
pemmican,
one, yeah,
which is not probably well known to a lot of our wide array of listeners.
Yeah, well, that is the
original
breadth
survival
and
food.
Variety of topics you're getting here.
There you go.
And that's why you listen to Pitch Guys.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's why we're number 1 on Apple Podcasts this week.
What do you guys think about this carb-free stuff? There's a lot of carb-free diets.
I've tried it.
Yeah.
I've done, years ago, I did the Atkins diet.
Okay.
And wow.
It works.
Oh, it works.
Wow.
But the problem is it works temporarily. Because you cannot exist on eating bacon and steak for a very long amount of time.
Did you find that you were ragey when you were not having carbs?
Did you have to poop a lot?
Well, the first experience is euphoria. You're like, I'm eating bacon and I'm losing weight.
Yeah.
So, you're kind of enjoying that.
Yeah.
But eventually you get to the point where I cannot live on this.
Yeah.
There's no way.
You'd have to like buy new sheets all the time because it'd be like bacon coming out of your pores while you sleep.
I think it's bad for you. I think that the reality is that, and maybe I'm wrong, and you can tweet us.
Yeah.
And you can refute this, but the keto diet, which is a little more moderate than Atkins, all of that stuff, the problem is it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
You can do it for a while and you can experience great success.
Right.
But you will not be able to do that for 5 years.
So you figure the trick is use it to lose weight quick and then slowly start to just adopt kind of like a balanced lower carb kind of diet.
I wish that was the trick, but I think as a guy who has like struggled with weight loss for his entire life, that doesn't work. I think that you have to. The only way to crack it is to do it sensibly and take the time.
Yeah,
and there's no quick way.
Yeah,
this is getting serious.
Yeah,
Jeez.
it's intense.
You're really it's heartfelt. We're helping a lot of people though.
Yeah,
exactly. My brother and I, for a while in our youth,
especially since we talked about the bacon and chocolate.
Bacon and chocolate. Yeah.
Sorry, your brother.
There's a mix. We did this thing called P90X. Have you ever heard of this?
I have.
It's like intense workout program. It's like every day there's like an hour and a half workout, and there's an eating plan that goes with it. And we were like, we're going to do this eating plan. And you had to cut carbs for the first 4 weeks, and you could eat like some vegetables and protein. Like in their eating plan, it was like half a dozen eggs for breakfast.
Oh, 6 eggs?
2 chicken breasts
my God.
2 chicken breasts for supper.
That's a Hugh Jackman diet, right?
And
there.
so we were like, by 5 days in, we'd just be raging on all we'd have is protein, and we'd just be mad at everybody. And I mean, I guess that's what you want to be throwing stuff around a lot, but in your workouts. But we were just
jacked up
we couldn't handle it. It was too much.
I hear you. Well, I think it all comes down to moderation, right?
True.
It's a difficult thing, but
what about these vegan diets? Like they say that is the solution to a lot of things, is just go straight up vegan, vegetarian. Like a lot of the environmental issues I guess we have now. I don't know. I can't give up meat. I don't want to give up meat, but more power to people who are choosing the diets, I guess.
I don't know. I'm a carnivore at heart. I think we were meant to be carnivores.
I've never eaten soy. I'm scared of soy.
No? You've never eaten tofu?
No.
I lived in Korea for 3 years of my life. Tofu was an important part of my diet.
What is tofu?
Tofu is made from soybean.
Yeah.
And it's
it's like fermented, right?
Well, I don't know the process, but it's a very unflavored type. Well, it's almost cheese-like in appearance.
It looks like a white eraser.
It really doesn't have any flavor, but it tends to take on the flavor of whatever you cook with it.
Yeah.
So if you cook with garlic and onions, then your tofu takes on that flavor. And it's actually a great texture. So my wife is a vegetarian, and we've often cooked with tofu, and we'll do even spaghetti meat sauce. Instead of having meat in our spaghetti, we'll use tofu. And we'll cook it with onions, with garlic, and it's actually great. So it's not that big of a deal. Tofu is a wonderful substitute.
Yeah.
So tofu industry, if you're listening, you need to be on board with Pitch Guys.
Yeah, approach us. I'll try tofu if it means a little support.
I'll tell you what, you come over to my house, I'll cook tofu for you.
All
and
right.
you'll think this is just okay.
Could you tell me later that I ate the tofu?
No, you'll know.
Oh, okay.
You'll know. There's no ifs, ands, or you can't disguise it. It doesn't look like meat.
All right. Like a tofu turkey.
If you think back to our to our histories, like hunter gatherer way back, I mean, we would eat meat, but not every single meal, not all the time. We would be eating a lot more vegetables, a lot more berries and nuts and stuff like that, and then we get meat when we had it, but we probably gorge ourselves on meat while it was there, but then we take a break. So I don't know, maybe there's we are built to not eat meat all the time. I don't know.
Well, sounds like blasphemy, but I'll hear
I
you
love
out.
meat.
I like a lot of dishes that I'm too lazy to cook for myself.
Oh.
You guys seem like you are a bit more adventurous and ambitious with the cooking. I don't do the cooking much in my house. And
No, not
I feel
at all?
bad about, no, not really. I'll prep things. Like, I can make a real fancy looking sandwich, I
I
microwave
think
stuff.
we're all different in that way. My lady is she's a wonderful woman, but I'm able to cook a little bit more than she is. It's not her thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I think they need to cater more to the modern lazy man like me and make it so you can just cook things easier. We're already going that route, making it easier to prepare meals. So, I'll actually get off my butt and make things. But I don't know. What are some things that you guys use in the kitchen that just help you cook faster, make meals easier? When you really don't feel like cooking.
I mean, if you're looking for something real easy, you could get yourself a box of MREs.
What is that?
It's
I have no idea what you're talking about.
They're I think it stands for meal ready to eat. It's
Oh,
military food.
Yeah.
Everything's
What?
vacuum packed. It doesn't expire
Like
for
Hungry Man
5
meals?
years. No. It's sits on your shelf. You open it up. It has a as it opens up. You just pour in some hot water, close it up, leave it sit for 3 minutes, and then you eat it. And
Is this what NASA would use?
Yeah, or you're your military. If you're out in the bush, you would you might consume it, or if you're a real prepper, you might have a whole bunch of those.
I like this idea.
Does NASA rave about the food they get out in the international
Do
space?
you mean NASA?
NASA.
You say things weird.
No, I don't.
Nassau.
Hawaii.
No, Nassau
Hawaii,
is
Maui.
in the Bahamas.
Nassau.
Yeah, that's a place.
NASA.
How do you say it? NASA or Nassau?
No, Nassau.
What do
Tweet
you
us.
say, Trevor?
Tweet us.
Derek.
You're adding a W to the end.
NASA.
NASA.
NASA. Okay. I love the potato masher.
That's
I
a
think
life.
it's the best thing ever invented.
Why?
But there's two types. You've got the wiry type, and you've got the one with holes. Don't buy the one with holes.
Why?
Because it's harder. You got to scrape off all the extra potato from it.
I don't think you're getting me. I want things that make it almost effortless to cook. I like the idea of those freeze-dried potatoes you just microwave, They really need to make more I like this idea of Derek's, these pouches, but I want more microwavable recipes that include 3 ingredients or less,
Well, I'll tell you what. I hosted Thanksgiving a few years ago.
Good for you.
And we had to do the turkey, and we bought the stovetop stuffing.
Yeah.
Put that in the turkey. Did it? No. We cooked it separately, and then we stored that in the fridge overnight.
Yep.
And people raved about it like it was the best thing.
They
Our
thought it was
stuffing
real.
was the best they've
Really?
ever had.
But now the cat's out of the bag
We
because they're
did
listening to
instant
this.
stuffing.
Wow.
So
And you got instant gratitude.
yeah.
Wow.
So you don't have to mess around with this stuff.
But you like this potato masher, eh?
However,
So
I mean,
useful
I
tool.
do.
cooking a turkey overnight, that's
We didn't cook it overnight.
Well, cooking a turkey is a little more labor intensive than Trevor's looking for.
I carved a turkey for the first time this past year.
Yeah.
And I felt pretty good about myself after doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had some help. Like, people gave me tips while I was doing
Yeah.
it. And I wanted to kind of look like I could do it on my own.
Yeah.
But I was also, pretty grateful for the tips.
Yeah, that's good.
Because it felt like I was doing surgery, really.
Yeah.
Everybody freaks out about the Thanksgiving turkey.
Yeah.
It's the easiest possible thing you could cook.
That's not true.
It is. You stick it in the oven,
Right.
and then you baste it every once in a while, and it comes out beautiful. As
Yeah.
long as you don't cook it too long, it's
Yeah.
not that big of a hassle.
do a simple
Microwaving a
calculation.
cheese slice sandwich is the easiest thing.
I think it's a lot more work.
Really?
I think a turkey is not that stressful.
I don't think you understand how easy a cheese slice is. Microwaving is my thing. I can microwave a lot.
Have you ever tried this Instapot thing?
I don't know what that is. What's
It's
different about an Instapot than just an old slow cooker or something?
I think it's like a
I've got
pressure
an
cooker,
Instapot.
slow cooker.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's fantastic.
It's a super
For
pressure
example,
cooker?
mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Okay? Which I like. I like
Yeah, yeah.
mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
I'll admit it. But if you're doing potatoes
Yeah.
and you're doing it in a pot, that's going to take about an hour. You could tweet me if you think this is wrong.
Okay.
Go ahead. But in the Instant Pot, you set that thing for like 10 minutes. And so it takes a bit more than 10 minutes because the water has to boil. And then the potatoes, they go for 10 minutes. So in about half the time that it takes to do boiled potatoes and mashed potatoes on the stove, you've got your potatoes. It's great. Rice, fantastic.
Is
You
it?
can't get better rice than
I already
the
got
Instant
rice
Pot.
figured out. You can buy
Yeah.
microwavable rice.
Oh, you can, but it sucks.
No, I'm fine with it.
Okay, I lived in Asia. You
Yeah,
got to have the
it's
good
not-
rice. It's a
No,
big
I don't know
difference.
the difference
It's
at
a
all.
It's a huge
Yeah,
difference.
it's terrible.
Well, I'm
And then you
oblivious
can
right
also
now,
do
so-
casseroles. The Instant Pot is an amazing thing. Basically, it's a pressure cooker. And, yeah.
A friend of mine did. His thing was like you can do a roast in 15 minutes, and he was a huge fan of that.
Well, I'll just say it's not really 15 minutes because what has to happen is the Instant Pot has to get up to a temperature.
Yeah.
And then once it gets up to a temperature, it's 15 minutes. But you're looking at probably 45 minutes and you've got a full cooked
Yeah, you
roast.
said you had to like leave it for a while to like decompress or.
It's like your friend's a
whatever.
liar there, Dirk.
he's who is it?
I don't think he's ever lied about
Shout out
any-
to this
I don't think he's
asshole.
ever lied about anything in his life.
This Instant Pot asshole who's telling us he can cook a roast in 10
This
minutes.
piece of should come on down here. Jeez. God.
No, the Instant Pot, like honestly, for meat and things like that, and you get very tender meat.
Yeah.
It's like being able to do a crock pot, like doing a crock pot meal, but doing it in a fraction of the time.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Have you ever had the pulled pork made in root beer?
No, but that sounds great.
It's great. Yeah,
Oh, I
it's
would.
delightful.
A&W root beer pulled pork.
Are we going to
Well,
do that
any root beer.
afterwards?
We can do
I
that
could
and
go
eat the
grab my
poaches of
Instant
potatoes. Yeah, we'll make a
The
real meal
mashed
of it.
potatoes?
Is the auto peeler a thing? Like, is there an appliance in the kitchen that just peels like vegetables and
There's
potatoes?
got to
for you?
be. There has to be an
I don't know
auto peeler.
anything about appliances,
Auto
but that
peeler. I
seems
have
like
one of the things we have a lot of apples, and so we made a lot of pies and made a lot of different things out of the apples. And one thing that drove me crazy was having to like peel it and core it and
sounds
all
like
that
a
stuff.
nightmare. Yeah.
And so we got this thing where you like put the apple on a little spike, you spin it, and as you spin it, it peels it and it cores it,
Wow.
and it also like cuts it into a spiral as it goes through the thing, so it's like pre-ready for pie.
Wow.
You just got to like
That's an
do
auto
a couple
peeler, I
chops
guess.
and throw it.
How
in
much does this thing cost?
It was not very much money. It was like $20.
Because I'm just Googling here, and apparently there's something called the Stripmeister E250.
I think that's for the bedroom.
yeah. That's just your nickname on Thursday nights.
This thing costs $599 US,
Yikes!
Yeah.
$749 Canadian,
Wow.
but it will peel your potatoes.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
that's worth it right there.
How does this thing work? You just chuck them all in the machine and push
I'm
how many you want out. Like
Derek, I'm not an expert on this damn
I'm just saying for like
Okay.
Stop
for
pressuring Al, Derek.
$700, I can use a paring knife and cut a few
Yeah.
potatoes.
You know what I'd love
Yeah,
to
but
see?
it takes 5 minutes, and that's a lot of work for $599.
You
It's
can
worth
save
it.
5 minutes a
Yeah.
few times a week.
You know what's an appliance I would like to see?
What's that?
And it's not for cooking, it's for after.
Yeah.
I don't like loading and unloading the dishwasher. So somehow you could make a smart dishwasher that had like, I don't know, like Jetson arms that came out and loaded itself.
Mhm.
Or a
You know?
robot. It
You know?
just comes to the table,
Oh, yeah.
and it watches you, and it
Yeah.
waits until you're done.
Yeah. Or it just keeps asking, you finished here? Right?
Yeah.
And it just kind of clears like a busboy robot. If we can have vacuums that clean our house, why
Yeah.
can't we have like, robots that bus our
This
food
is
and
like
clean them?
the Roomba busboy.
Yeah.
Right.
Busboy Roomba.
Yeah.
You could just pay me to come over. I love loading a dishwasher.
Really?
Love
It's like a accomplishment. Like I get a sense of accomplishment of like how much can I fit in? How creatively can I load this
Like
thing?
Tetris.
So it's the most efficiently loaded thing. Like my wife always is like, I just loaded that and you redid it. I like
Yeah.
remove around.
My wife doesn't load it correctly
I
either.
reload like 80% of what my wife puts in, just so it's as
I
efficient
get
as
yelled
possible.
at the way I load them. I don't.
Yeah, because
I'm-
you're just throwing it in there.
No, I'm not throwing it. I
The
feel like I'm
dishes
doing
are
it.
smashing as they're
No.
hitting the.
Don't be silly. But I feel like I'm doing it right. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I guess I'm not.
Mm.
Apparently, you put bowls on the top.
Mm.
Really?
Do you know
Why?
about this? I don't know.
No.
I don't know the rules. I
I
guess.
put more careful things on the top that I don't want.
The one thing I've learned is don't leave your knives sticking up in the front, because if you fall,
right.
you'll like fall over the knives and you'll impale
Did
yourself.
that happen? Were
then
you
you end up
impaled
on,
or?
like,
Yeah, I've never.
America's
it's not
Funniest
happened
Home
to me,
Videos or
but
something.
yeah, it wouldn't be in America's.
Yeah.
Oh, this person died doing this.
I mean, on Grey's
You never
Anatomy
see
or
that.
something.
No, and then you got the cute music playing over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bob Saget
Bob
is talking
Saget just
about
selling
yeah.
it. Yeah.
You can get people now to load your vehicle at grocery stores with the groceries. I'd love to see an appliance in the kitchen that unloaded them,
Unloaded.
like
the-
another robot. I
Yeah.
want robots. That's all I want in the kitchen.
We all want robots.
Yeah,
Well,
that's the
right?
future.
You
right?
could use your droid for that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boys, we have a new sponsor on board this week.
Ooh, I'm
Oh, boy.
excited about this.
Exciting.
Yeah.
This week's sponsor, Beyond Meat.
Beyond Meat.
Yes, have you heard about it?
Tell me about
Tell
it.
me about it, Al.
Well, you have this thing that's called Beyond Meat.
Yeah,
and,
I've heard about that.
I believe that what it is it's an alternative
Right.
for people that don't really want to eat meat
Right.
for either ethical or environmental reasons.
I understand it's doing real well.
Yeah,
But-
it's
but-
actually, it's just, I mean, it's firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
You've got, I'm not sure, there's two companies. You've got Impossible Meat and you've got Beyond Meat.
Yeah.
Right.
But between them, you've got Burger King coming on board. You've
A&W.
got other companies like A&W.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of companies that are offering these Beyond Meat, mostly hamburger alternatives.
Burgers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, what you've got is a company called Beyond Meat
Wow.
that is actually offering an alternative to Beyond Meat.
Okay.
Have you guys tried it?
No.
No.
You haven't tried it.
No.
It is absolutely amazing.
Wow.
It tastes like Beyond Meat,
Yeah.
but not quite,
Okay.
because this
What's in it?
product is made from 100% beef.
Oh,
And
sounds
so-
that's
fantastic.
ingenious.
Yeah, it's really great. The Montana Beef Association
Yeah.
is on board and a big
Right.
sponsor of
The
Beyond-
MBA.
Beyond Meat. Actually, I've prepared just a few samples for you, just a few
Okay.
hamburgers for you
Okay.
to try.
Yeah.
Here. This is Beyond Meat, so
Okay.
it's replicating the Beyond Meat experience.
Okay, so it's gonna have
You
the
guys
same
can just
texture
try it.
as
Yeah,
the
same
simulated
texture as
meat.
Beyond Meat. Give it
Okay.
a try.
All right,
Okay.
let's.
Let's see what you think.
Jerky
Got
here.
get your burger here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just take a bite and see what you think.
Mm-mm.
That's not too bad.
No,
I mean,
that's pretty amazing. Like,
Yeah, it's got
I
a little
could-
bit more texture and a little bit
Yeah.
more fat.
I could swear that I'm eating simulated meat, but
Yeah, it
this
kinda-
is real beef.
It's real beef.
it
Oh.
tastes like plant-based protein, but it's actually
Right.
beef.
This is
So
just
for
one-
those people that are not into the vegetarian diet and want to consume meat as part of their diet.
Yeah.
This is an alternative.
This would get you into meat.
Yeah, right. This is an alternative
Yeah.
to plant-based meat products.
I could
Well,
see
they
this
nailed
as a real bonus for those ones who have like plant-based protein intolerances, you know, and you could just go with this Beyond Meat burger, and then you don't have to worry about the.
Or if
Right.
you're just looking for a cheaper alternative,
yeah,
right? This real meat burger, this is a novel idea.
yeah,
Oh my God.
that's fantastic.
Yeah,
I think
this
I
is
might have a few more.
revolutionary.
How do you prepare something like this Beyond Meat burger?
Well, this is basically ground beef.
Okay,
All right,
Yeah.
and you prepare it like you would prepare a normal Beyond Meat patty.
Okay.
You fry it, or you
Yeah.
could barbecue it.
right.
It
Okay,
actually responds a little bit better. Has a little bit more moisture and
Okay.
feels more. It feels more meat-like.
Right.
Really, is what I'm getting from it.
but it still feels like a Beyond Meat patty,
Right,
right? Like
like,
I can still get
It's
the.
pretty close.
It's still kind of
but better.
texture and taste like I'm getting those plant-based proteins, but it's actually
It's
meat-based.
actually meat.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I can still trick myself into thinking
Right,
that I'm
exactly.
It's
eating
got
soy.
the texture. Something like this could really make me feel comfortable about getting into beef,
Yeah.
right? So where do they go from here? Like,
Well,
this is amazing.
Now I've heard that the Beyond Meat group has countered and responded,
Okay.
and that there's a new burger coming out called Beyond Meat,
Wow.
Okay.
which is actually a plant-based version of the meat-based version of the plant-based version of the meat-based version of the product that we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Of the burger, right.
So
yeah.
it encapsulates all of those things that you love about the simulated burger made from meat, but then made out of simulated ingredients.
Right.
So you don't have that guilt.
Right.
Exactly.
And so you can be more environmentally ethical.
And the great thing about the Beyond Meat one
Yeah.
Yeah.
is that it's not made from any food product whatsoever. It's entirely cardboard.
Wow.
Right.
So you can't beat that.
Yeah.
No.
You're not, you're
It's
not
also
consuming an
recycling, like
animal.
it's better
Yeah.
for the environment.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, cardboard is entirely recyclable.
Right.
Yeah. And you get
So-
your fiber still.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's fantastic.
I can get behind this.
exactly. So thank you to Beyond Meat and also to Beyond Meat for being a generous sponsor of this week's podcast.
Yeah. And if Bed and Beyond is listening, we'd love to also have you guys sponsor us as well.
And Bed and Beyond Meat, the new product where your mattress is made entirely of.
I've stitched together bacon, right?
All right, we're back. And thanks again to that wonderful, generous sponsor. So we're talking about food and just ideas for food. One of the things that I need to tackle is eating out. I'm not going to stop eating out, but I can't afford it. So how can we make like dining out experiences cheaper? How can we just make the whole food idea more affordable for families, like even groceries?
Wow. Well, if we're talking about dining out, one of the things you can do to save a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
I think, is to ask them to boil your potatoes but not mash them, and just bring them to the table, and you have your potato masher ready to go.
Right, bring it with you.
Yes. So I mean, it saves a little bit of time,
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
and you do it yourself.
Partially prepped
Right.
meals.
Given that you're having potatoes in your meal and
Right.
mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
You could go through drive-through,
Yeah.
and have like simulated kids fighting in the back seat sounds in the back, and
Sure.
you could order like, a couple kids meals because they're a little cheaper.
Right.
Get multiple, get more food for the kids' price plus some toys or books,
Yeah.
and then you're paying it cheaper. And if they give you a hard time about your grown man ordering kids meals, you just listen to the kids fighting or yell at them in the back seat.
That's a good idea.
I don't think the fast food restaurants care
No.
if you're ordering.
Is that a
Happy
thing
Meal.
where they don't?
I was told once that I couldn't order that because I wasn't a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
That was a
Well,
rough
you could
McDonald's.
be ordering for your children who are not with you.
I was like 25, and
Oh, my God.
they wouldn't give it to me.
Makes
Wow.
me so angry.
Yeah.
Your idea kind of makes sense for in restaurants. So if you're trying to order from the kids' meal,
Yeah.
or if you're trying to order off the seniors menu,
Yeah.
if you don't fit into either of those categories, like some kind of disguise or face
Yeah.
putty.
You could also
you
go
know?
to the effort of like, whitening your hair and
Yeah.
putting in some wrinkles and,
Yeah.
whitening your beard, and then you could order off the seniors.
Yeah, you can save a lot of money.
But
that
why
way.
do they have such crappy choices on the seniors and children's menu?
Are
don't
they?
know.
Because you can get chicken fingers shaped like dinosaurs.
Yeah.
You can't get that as an
Yeah,
adult.
they bought them from Walmart and they put them in the oven.
But
Don't
there's also like hot
wreck these
beef
for
on
me.
a bun. Like, what is that? I see that on like every senior's menu.
Seniors love hot beef on a bun.
I don't even.
Really?
Is this a burger? Is this like a steak on
It's
a?
like a
No,
pulled
it's
pork.
exactly what you think it is. It's hot roast beef
Okay.
with a little bit of gravy on
Yeah.
it on a bun.
Yeah.
That's a senior thing.
Yeah.
I get it. It sounds delicious.
It's actually, it doesn't
You have
sound
some
bad.
peas with that? That'd be
I
delicious.
would, with peas?
Yeah. Oh my
And a bit
God.
of mashed potatoes that you mash yourself?
You
Yeah,
are obsessed
self-mashing.
with the mashed potatoes. And
It's
the
like a
mashed-
workout and a
I think
meal at the
that's-
same
as
time.
As a Canadian, as a Western Canadian, the
Yeah.
number one thing that you have on your plate is mashed potatoes. I have eaten a lot of mashed potatoes in my life. Have you
Mhm.
guys not?
This is true.
Well, a lot, yeah, but sometimes they're scalloped.
Oh, scalloped. Well, that's
Yeah.
fancy stuff.
Yeah. That's all right.
It's like a Sunday meal.
What about
That's
a
not regular
restaurant
day.
where you supply the ingredients, like you just bring them, but they just prepare it into something for you?
Mm.
So you could bring anything, and they have to make that into a meal.
Yeah,
It's like a
you're-
challenge
You
kinda
save
thing.
a little bit of money because you're supplying the actual ingredients. You're paying for the labor. That's it.
Mm.
So you could bring like a bucket full of dates,
Yeah.
some pork chops that you had left over, some lettuce,
This already sounds
Caesar
good.
salad mix,
Yeah.
and they would just make something for
Yeah,
you.
they give you a date Caesar salad
Pork.
With pork in
with
it.
pork
Yeah.
chunks.
Actually, it would probably work.
Yeah, I think
So-
that'd be all right.
Okay.
A tasty salad. So yeah, just kind of like a they prep, but you shop kind of thing.
I like it.
So you're still lazing out a little bit. You're still going on that dining experience, but you are getting to shop around for the cheapest price.
Mhm.
The idea of a restaurant where you bring the ingredients is actually really cool. I think, and if you had a really creative chef,
Yeah.
you go in there with the intention of really screwing with him,
Yeah.
but then he comes out with, or she
Yeah.
comes out with something brilliant.
Right.
Or they.
You're like,
Yeah.
they
You might have an idea for like a reality TV show right there.
Mhm.
I think there is food reality shows where they have very limited grocery lists.
But like
have to
the,
do something.
where the clients come in and
Oh,
say
okay.
this is
just
what.
so completely surprise them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like, Dairy Queen, you can get the delightful treat called the Blizzard.
Mhm.
This isn't
Yeah.
a money saving thing, but I would love to go and bring my own ingredients for them to Blizzard,
Mm.
Oh,
so
you could have like smoked salmon.
or like a salted caramel chicken Blizzard.
Yeah.
That would be delightful.
Or like a bacon chocolate dip.
Well, the bacon would work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think
The
if you're
other thing's
choosing-
not so much.
bacon works with everything.
Yeah, but salmon doesn't. Nor does shrimp or
No.
seafood and ice cream. Not good combos.
It is a prelude to a toilet.
Mhm.
You're gonna spend the night in the bathroom. But
Right.
I think if you're choosing to eat out at restaurants, you're probably not going the cheaper route. So
Right.
what
You
about
You're talking about saving money generally, right?
about cheaper ingredient options for your at home cooking?
Well, yeah, you could, garden.
Oh
It's
my
pretty cheap to
God.
buy seeds and then
Sounds
put
like
them
work.
in the ground.
It's a lot of
and then pull
effort.
it out.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
Well,
effort.
yeah, he didn't say I want lower effort. I mean, I know that he wants lower effort, but he just said cheaper options.
Do you
right?
garden?
I do.
Yeah?
Yeah, we garden
What
quite
kind
a
of
bit.
things do you grow?
Like root vegetables, lots of potatoes,
Right?
carrots,
There you go,
beets.
And I'll tell you, there's nothing better than a fresh potato.
This is true. New
With your
potatoes.
mashed
My
potato,
father-in-law
with your
loves
potato
those.
masher.
Yeah, if you got a masher and a potato, you got heaven right
If
there.
you plant one zucchini plant, you'll end up with like 50 zucchini plants off of that.
That's a lot of zucchini.
Yeah, lots of zucchini. We've tried corn a lot, but never been successful. with
No.
it.
Yeah.
Lots of peas, like fresh peas. Those are delightful.
Grow rhubarb.
Yeah,
I like
Yeah.
rhubarb.
yeah. It's a necessary thing in Canada, I think, to have a rhubarb plant.
Do you get a lot of rabbits trying to eat your garden?
No, but my garden's fenced.
Oh.
And do you go just nuts if a rabbit gets in there? Do you lose your mind?
We had moles in it this year, and the
moles.
boys
Oh,
and
that
I
would be
went
worse.
nuts trying to deal with trapping those.
A rabbit would be better because you could eat the rabbit.
Once we trapped the mole, we fed it to the cat, and that was entertainment for the boys. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You
better
can
than
eat the
better
rabbit.
than
You can't
Netflix.
eat the moles.
No.
That's That's
Well, you
helpful.
could eat the moles, but they don't taste great.
Yeah.
One thing.
Have you eaten a mole?
I have not tried it.
I've had mole sauce,
Yeah.
but they're not made. It's not made from moles.
No.
Well, okay, gardening. I guess that would cut the costs a little bit. What about just like filler? You know, if you like just fill and people don't know because it takes on the flavor of whatever you're cooking. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know, some kind of like more edible sawdust, I guess.
Mm.
You know, I'm not saying I want it. I'm just saying we need to look at this
Well,
avenue. Do you
one
guys
thing,
go ahead, Derek?
One thing that drives me crazy is like food waste.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
like if you buy food and you don't end up eating it,
Yeah.
that like I'll eat borderline food regularly that I wouldn't serve the rest of my family because I'm too cheap to let it go to waste.
Like you're afraid it's past its prime.
Like I don't. Yeah, if it maybe should be thrown out, I'll probably eat it because I don't want to waste that money and waste that food. But like sometimes there's things you can do with that. Like we went on holiday once and came back and our milk was expired,
Sure.
but it was like almost a full 4-liter jug. And
4 liters.
So the internet told me, you know, you can make cottage cheese with your sour milk. So I made
gross.
my own cottage cheese
How
with
do you
sour
do that?
milk. You just shake it up a bit. You just gotta you mix it with vinegar and put it in the oven for a certain amount of time. But it was really good.
Yeah.
Homemade cottage cheese.
It sounds wretched, but
yeah.
you know better than I do. So I would be
What I
willing to
realize
try it.
is you're quite a cheapskate.
I am a little bit.
Yeah.
You're creative though.
You got to
Yeah.
find ways to save cash, you know?
So that's kind of like an answer to food preservation is cottage cheese stuff if it expires.
Yeah, if it expires, there's probably some. Or you don't get yourself some chickens and they'll eat pretty much everything.
And get creative with
Now-
like leftovers too, I guess.
Yeah.
You have chickens, right?
I do, yeah.
How many?
6.
6 chickens.
Yeah.
Now these chickens are primarily for eggs.
Yes.
Have you ever eaten one yet?
Yes, we started with
egg.
like 22
Chicken.
Oh.
and about we got rid of 4 of them to a friend and so whatever was less than that, 12 of them were roosters and so we butchered them and we've eaten them.
What about if you could have some machine that you just put all your leftover ingredients in that are kind of close to expiring?
Yeah.
You know, like all these dishes, and you just dump them into this machine. It's kind of like a composter,
Yeah.
but it just solidifies it. It adds any kind of seasonings you want to add at a certain cycle,
Mm.
Right.
and it makes you a delicious, like, composted leftover breakfast bar.
Mm.
You know,
Oh.
just a
A
protein bar to go.
moist, meaty
Yeah.
slash
A brick.
vegetably like brick
Yeah,
that you eat.
Okay.
a nutrient brick.
Nutrient.
Right. And so if it's got some things in it that don't belong together, it kind of
Yeah.
neutralizes it out.
Or
Right.
not.
If you've got bananas and kimchi and roast beef in there, it's going to just neutralize it and it's going to be fine.
It's going
It
to
just
add some
starts
extra
inserting
spices.
soy sauce to kind of cover the flavor. or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. You preload some different spices and it just adds
Ketchup
that in
phase.
depending on what's
yeah,
going
so
into it.
It's called the neutralizer.
The neutralizer.
you
Yeah.
throw whatever
Neutralizer.
it's like a composter,
Yeah.
but it's for your stomach.
Yeah.
You don't waste any food product.
I would
No,
love
yeah.
that to be the slogan for the product too. It's like a composter, but for your stomach. That's a great idea because you would never have waste.
Nope.
Right.
You'd always have a snack on the go.
Yeah.
You dump the bacon grease in
Yeah.
there. You
Yeah.
dump whatever you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, you dump
Right.
later for sure.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a
That's
robot version of your personal chef that you were hoping for earlier.
Oh,
well, it puts Metamucil in there, so it's very
Oh,
fibrous.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Hey, that is another issue. Like, how do you make food healthier without making it not fun? Without how do you got to trick people basically? Like, how do you get your loved ones to unsuspectingly eat healthy?
I know a friend of mine. Her husband likes really creamy food, like really heavy.
Who doesn't like creamy food?
Heavy with like sauces and
Oh,
like
yeah.
buttery sauces and
You
stuff.
got me sold on this.
And so rather than adding more butter and more cream, she uses white broccoli,
Oh.
cauliflower. She blends up cauliflower and puts it in there, and tricks them. It has that creamy texture, but it's not.
That's a good idea.
The broccoli creates a creamy texture.
The blended
Cream of
cauliflower.
broccoli is a thing.
Yeah.
My wife actually hides cauliflower in foods, and I have no idea. It's becoming a real thing. Like this cauliflower pizza crust,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's hard to tell. And like cauliflower potatoes, I can't tell when she does it. What about like How to hide more vitamins in food? Can you hide vitamins?
You use my potato masher. You mash those vitamins up.
Yeah.
And you have a nice, just fine powder. You can put that in. You'd never know it was in there.
Yeah.
Should you be adding vitamins to food with vitamins naturally in it? Is that a thing? I don't know.
And how much do they really help? Vitamins are overrated.
Are they?
It depends on your diet, I
I
think.
hope not.
My wife will get a big bag of spinach and like steam it and blend it, and then that stuff will go on to stuff. So if we have like grilled cheese sandwiches, arguably not super nutritious, she'll put on the spinach paste in there, and then it adds a little bit of
Spinach paste.
She puts spinach paste on top.
like inside, like you got your bread, your cheese. There's some spinach paste that goes on. You don't
know it's there.
You could probably not like I put a little dill in there, to go along with it, give it some seasoning.
Okay, if you had a grilled cheese without this, would it taste a lot better?
I don't know.
I think it would.
Yeah, grilled cheese is amazing.
Yeah.
If you could make a diet where you just eat grilled cheese and it was healthy,
you know what? I'm pretty
that.
sure. Like if you deny yourself of everything else and you only eat grilled cheese, you will lose weight.
You think?
Give it a try.
Yeah,
like we might
grilled
be onto
cheese,
something
the pitch
here.
guy's grilled cheese diet. That's
this
it.
turns out to be a thing. We're
That's
copywriting this here and now.
But if you try it and you get
Okay.
significantly
I'll
ill,
tell you what.
you cannot sue us.
Right, no suing. But for the next month, all of the pitch guys, all three of us,
Yeah.
we are only going to eat grilled cheese.
Oh,
That's
all right.
all
Like that.
we are going to eat.
We can't
like
augment
this.
it with anything else.
So you've got butter, bread, and cheese.
Okay.
That's it. Those three ingredients.
Could
Then
we
we're just
like-
going to check in to see if we're still alive.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, could we spice it up by like frying it in bacon grease or something? Or is that allowed?
You're pushing it.
Okay.
You need to stick to the raw ingredient
Okay.
here.
I got this idea from some time I spent in the hospital. Liquid vegetables that I don't even know I'm taking. So, like, if you could ingest your vegetables through your arm in your sleep or something,
Mm.
that's a way to get a loved one to get their vegetables in.
There's nothing wrong with intravenous.
No.
It's some people shame you for doing it, but
What?
I say if you need to go intravenous, go intravenous.
Yeah.
Who do you say this to?
You've never been shamed for IVing your vegetables?
Not lately.
No.
This is a daily thing.
When you were in the hospital, I shamed you for it. I remember.
I woke up and I remember it.
Most people send thank you cards. He just
You
sends shame cards.
pathetic son of a bitch. You've been taking your broccoli through an IV.
Grow up. Get your life on track. No, this is all painful. It's coming back to me now. What about like your kids? They could be the fussiest eaters. I mean, I don't have any to deal with, but you guys must have had some real struggles getting your kids to eat healthy.
Yeah,
Like,
you just lie.
what are some solutions there?
Lie.
Lie?
You lie a lot.
How do you
yeah.
lie to them?
This cauliflower?
Yeah.
This is bacon.
Oh,
Yeah. Works like a charm.
They believe that.
Yeah, it
Wow.
does.
A friend of mine told their kid that yogurt was actually ice cream. And so they would eat yogurt all the time thinking it was ice cream.
That's
Yeah.
smart. Did they actually have real ice cream before they had the yogurt?
No, they'd only had yogurt.
Oh,
It worked for like a couple years.
that's great. So they went years without having real ice cream, and
Yeah.
then when they had real ice cream, the gig was up.
Mhm.
It was like a birthday party. Somebody like ruined it.
And like Wonder Woman, they thought it was the best thing they'd ever had in their life.
Yeah. What?
From the Wonder Woman movie.
What?
She thought ice cream.
You know the Wonder Woman movie a lot better than I do.
I could.
Okay. Hey, here's an idea. Kids love Lego, and I love Lego.
Yeah.
If you could make food-based Lego and give it to kids for their lunches, not only could they play with it, but they would enjoy it.
Trevor, I hate to tell you this. It already exists.
No.
Yes, it
I
does.
don't
It's
believe
called Lego candy.
There's
Now,
Lego
it might not
Collie.
be healthy for you,
Yeah.
but you can go to any candy store and you can buy Lego candy. But what you're suggesting is
Like
that it's
vegetable
actually healthy. It's
Yeah.
broccoli or it's other
lean
things.
meat, Legos.
Mhm. Right? Turkey.
Yeah,
Beyond
you can
meat.
make yourself a brick lunch,
Yeah.
and then it would just have everything you need, and you could have fun with it, make a spaceship to eat for lunch, right?
The instances of of kids choking
Oh,
would go up significantly,
yes.
but
and it would also teach them to eat just Lego, which
it would
isn't
be
good.
worth it.
Yeah, probably. I mean, if your kid's in a real bad way, vegetable wise, this might be your last ditch effort.
Mhm.
So okay. Well, how about on the other end of the spectrum, like the biggest reason I will actually try to prepare food is for socializing. So like party foods, like when I'm entertaining.
Yeah.
And there's only so many things I really know how to do. Like I can cut up some cheese, I can cut up some meats, I can put some grapes of it and make my own little, American version of a charcuterie board, but it's not authentic.
Yeah.
It's basically chunks of pork and like some cheddar, but
if you have alcohol, it doesn't need to be fancy.
That's what I found.
If you don't have alcohol, you've got to step it up.
Yeah.
I've been to too many places where like surprise dip counts as like this big appetizer. I think I don't want any more surprise dip. I want some effort. I want something
gourmet dip.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All you need to do is put a few drinks into every guest.
Yeah.
And then you can give them bacon wrapped dates, and that is amazing.
Well, you could save money and have bologna wrapped anything.
Yeah.
You wrap bologna around something anytime. I love it.
Or cheese whiz on cardboard. It's freaking great.
If the cardboard can break down easily inside you, great. Because you don't need a cracker.
No.
You just want the cheese whiz.
Well, cheese covered beyond meat.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
That's a cheese
Have
burger.
you tried this thing called Velveeta?
Yes.
Now, if you melt down Velveeta, it's like the definition of heaven.
Wow.
It is.
Really?
So
it's
for
truly
you,
amazing.
the afterlife, if you play your cards right, would be a processed
I'd be swimming in
cheese.
this stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like how spongy it is.
Yeah.
That's fun. It's got a fun texture.
No,
I used to eat it a lot. My grandpa was like, that was his thing, but then I never had it for a while. I had it recently with me, but we used it as like bait for trout fishing. So, but I have not used it in.
Fish love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there was a special roller, like a cutter you could buy that has a roller on
wire.
it, and you could cut the Velveeta.
Yeah.
It was the most amazing thing.
Yeah.
Oh, we should have some now.
We need to have Velveeta, some instant potatoes, and some bacon. I think this is a great.
We have it all covered. Minus vegetables.
Hey, speaking of Velveeta and like foods that are kind of soft like that, I'd like to see more foods that you can sculpt. Like at fancy parties, you got like ice sculptures and things like that. I'd like to see more plans that are provided with cheeses and stuff. How to like make a head out of this cheese, or how to
You're not talking sculpt like Play-Doh sculpt. You're talking like
carving
sculpt.
Yeah, like ice carving, but with your food.
As you say that, it makes me
foods.
realize that a lot of sculptable foods come from craft.
Yeah,
like caramels.
Yeah,
that is a sculptable food.
Yeah, that's
because you craft it.
Right.
Yeah. Oh,
Kraft is a Canadian company.
That's true.
I don't know if it exists in the United States, but I don't think so.
It might. I don't know.
I don't believe so.
It might not have the It might be not as present because they don't see KD everywhere. Kraft
but
dinner.
You should look it up. If you're an American listening to this podcast, you should learn about Kraft foods.
Please tweet us and let us know if there is Kraft foods in the States.
They are not a sponsor.
Yeah,
but we're just fans,
and we're curious people. Yeah,
Kraft should come up with a gravy. It would be great.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Or gravy slices. They can get in little wrappers. Congealed gravy, gravy singles. That would be delicious.
Oh, I'd be all over that.
You take those out to lunch, and I'd be just driving in my car eating like 5 gravy singles, have wrappers all over the seat. It'd be great. That's a party food for yourself, right? So what are some other hors d'oeuvres that you guys make when you're entertaining? What's your go-to? You shove a toothpick in a grape?
Something that I really love consuming, but it's a lot more time consuming to make would be like stuffed mushrooms.
Oh, that'd be delicious.
Those are pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you get the mushrooms from your lawn or?
No, there are a lot that grow, but I'm not solid enough to know which is, going to kill me. Yeah.
How do you know the people who are selling you mushrooms know?
That's a deep question. You better just avoid mushrooms altogether.
Yeah.
You're taking a gamble there.
I don't like them. I think they're stupid.
Oh, I love them.
Really?
They're so good. Yeah. Mushrooms are delightful.
Mm-hmm.
As far as vegetables go, I'm really into jalapenos.
Yeah.
As an hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
They're great.
How do you prepare them?
Oh, I don't care. I'll eat them pickled I'll eat them fresh, and I love them.
I'm a spice wimp, so I can't eat them too much, but I love the taste of them.
Now, we had a pepper plant
Mm-hmm.
this summer, and it turned out it was a habanero plant.
Okay.
I'll tell you one thing I learned.
Yeah.
Don't pick the habaneros without gloves.
Because they're hot.
If you pick the damn habaneros without gloves and then you touch your eyes
Oof.
at all, you are going to experience pain like you have never experienced it in your lifetime.
This is like a new torture mechanism, right?
So then I had to Google, how do you get rid of this pain?
Yeah.
But you can't hardly see your screen on your phone
Yeah.
because you're in such pain. But I
Right.
found out you got to
But it
pour
ta-
milk in your eyes.
As I was going to ask.
You got to pour milk in your eyes?
Milk in your eyes.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
it's gone instantly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not really a new idea, but that's a heck of a tip that you got from Pitch Guys here, guys.
Yeah.
So you're welcome.
You're
Now, I
eating those
imagine
spicy
it-
wings somewhere,
Yeah.
know
and
that.
you accidentally get that wing sauce in your eyeballs.
Yeah.
Order a glass
gotta
of
do
milk,
that.
pour it in your eyeball.
Hey, speaking of wings, that's kind of a go-to for parties. What are some adventurous wing flavors that you would like to see?
Pumpkin spice.
Oh, for fall. Yes.
Yeah.
Fall wings, pumpkin spice. That'd be great.
You know, I mean, you can't put that on enough stuff. I
No.
love it.
Yeah.
Cinnamon and that pumpkin flavor. Oh my
Oh,
god.
that would be a delicious wing.
Yeah.
You nailed it right out of the gate.
Yeah.
I thought we would have to
yeah.
get to that, but you got
Yeah.
to it immediately.
What about like bacon wrapped chicken wings?
Oh, it would be good. Anything you put bacon on is
Right.
going to be good.
I like it. I'd like to see beef shaped like chicken wings. I think that would be a tasty treat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you think you're eating something that's a little leaner, but it's beef. What if you had kind of a fondue setup or something where people had kind of the pre-cooked chicken wings that are unflavored, but then you have these sauces they can roll them in, and then there's like toppings that would stick to the sauces, like crushed up barbecue chips,
Right.
things like that. You know,
Like when they come with the the baked potato trough, drop that on your table, but it would be
Oh,
like
yeah.
the wing sauce
Yeah.
and topping trough.
you got all this accoutrement for your
Yeah.
wings,
Yeah.
right? I think that would be an amazing idea.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
I'd like to see more home poutine options for serving to your guests too.
Okay.
It's a delightful combination of gravy, French fries, cheese curds. It's very Canadian,
Mhm.
but it's hard to actually like access it in your own home
Right. You need the right gravy and you need the right
Yeah.
cheese curds.
to do it right.
Yeah.
So if you could have something like a bite-sized poutine snacks that you can give people, or like, you know, kind of like almost a meat
Solidified.
pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, a meat pie poutine
Mm.
would be delightful.
Mm.
You know, little savories you could give people, pasties, pasties.
We have a lot of ideas, and we've
Yeah.
probably made a lot of people hungry.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a tantalizing podcast.
Yeah.
We've thrown out very few useful ideas, but everything here I think people can get on board with.
Yeah.
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 So if you actually prepare any of these food ideas that we have proposed,
Or if you already have.
yeah,
Take a
we
picture.
gotta you gotta
Tweet it to
take
us.
a picture
Yeah.
and tweet that to us at Pitch Guys.
Yeah. Oh,
We
no.
might even send you a free box of Beyond meat
Yeah. Might.
just for that.
Yeah. And if you discover anything else you can do with mashed potatoes or a mashed potato masher, please let Alan know specifically.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
But yeah, keep listening and keep sharing, and please keep on rating and commenting. And yeah, let us know your food ideas or, you know, anything that you're struggling with food wise, and we'll help you out.